the divine origins of creation, and the imperial Africans' dominion.
I'm Aston Farquharson, and I'll be your narrator. In the heart of Africa, a rich tapestry of cultures and beliefs have existed for many millennia. In this series, we will explore the divine origins of African culture based on archaeological discoveries made at Adam's Calendar, Napta Playa, then at Coastal Taseti, Kush, and later in Kemet. This journey will take us through the rise of sacred divine spirituality with divine worship, divine kingship, divine priesthood, and the divine dynastic rule. Please join us on this journey as we uncover our history like it's never been told before. This divine origins of African culture.
We are delving into the early roots of African culture origins that stretch back through the many millennia. Our story begins with Atum, the supreme god revered by many African cultures under different tribal names based on languages. The ancient texts reveal that Atum rose first from the primordial spiritual waters, kickstarting the divine creation process. The original African language, Medu Neter, name for Atum, is Neter, but this name changed over many millennia to Pita or Ra or Re or Amun Ra. As inscribed in the Pyramid text, 1655, it was Atum who first emerged from the primordial spiritual waters of creation. In the hymn to Pita from the 22nd dynasty, it is said that Pita crafted the world in the design of his heart, giving life to the defied gods by Africans. Pita's creative force breathed life into the universe. Tefnut and Shu, embodiments of air and moisture, played pivotal roles in shaping the world. Together, they crafted the sky, Nut, and the land, Geb, laying the foundations of nature and the universe. Contrary to common misconceptions, ancient Africans were not polytheistic. Their beliefs centered around a monotheistic god. But yes, all the other gods were human ancestors, deified as gods by the Africans. The British Museum houses the Papyrus of Nu, where Ra declares, "I am Ra," meaning I am God, asserting his divinity. The Book of the Dead, also known as the Papyrus of Ani, describes Ra as the father of the gods. The Papyrus of Ani makes Ra, the one supreme god, was the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, reigning over the divine world. The Holy Land, Taneteru, held the sacred triad of water, with the Iteru, now known as the Nile, originating from lakes like Tana, Chad, and Nalubale. The divine triad, consisting of Usir, Ist, and Heru. Usir, also called Osiris, the Taseti lord of the underworld, judge of the dead and resurrection, brother to Seth, husband to Ist, and father to Heru. As a family dynasty of Taseti, he is entrusted with bringing sacred divinity and spirituality to the world. Ist, also called Isis or Iset. The Taseti goddess of healing, fertility, and motherhood, sister to Seth, wife to Usir, and queen mother to Heru. As a family dynasty of Taseti, she is a protector of the people of Taseti. The final god of the triad is Heru, Also called Hor, Har, Her, or Horus, he is son to Ist and Ushir. He is a sun god of healing and protection. In Taseti spirituality, Heru is a god in the form of a falcon, whose right eye was the sun or morning star, representing power and quintessence, and whose left eye was the moon or evening star, is the core of modern spiritual belief systems and religious culture. The Palermo stone stele documents the divine dynasties of Usir and Heru, predating the existence of Kemet, ancient Egypt, by thousands of years. The papyrus of Ani states, "Homage to thee, Kenti Amenti, Unnefer, who dwellest in Abtu." This places Usir in the land of Nubia, or Taseti, as the Unnefer, emphasizing the African roots of spiritual belief systems and religious culture. The lands of Taneteru were once divided, with the south, upper land, of Seth, and the north, lower land, of Usir, and later Heru. Conflict and rivalry mark their history. According to the Shabaka stone of the 25th dynasty, Heru and Seth eventually settled their conflicts peacefully, uniting the two lands. Even after Narmer-Menes unification, early pharaohs showed divided loyalties, using both Heru and Seth in their titles, while others, like Pharaoh Kasekemwi, embraced both lands. The murder of Usir gave rise to the concept of dying then to the resurrection and day of judgment, marking the explicit birth of human death and resurrection to the afterlife in African spirituality, and for the first time in human history. Usir was declared the divine judge of the underworld, presiding over the day of judgment, deciding who would enter the afterlife. Historical mistranslations, or mistransliteration and misrepresentations, have often referred to these great divine Africans of Taneteru as divine spirits or mythical kings, obscuring their true existence and significance. Claims of sexual relations between Heru and his uncle Seth, uncle and nephew, have been made without a scintilla of evidence, mirroring similar instances in other religious texts, like Noah in Genesis 9 of the Bible, about his son Ham, all part of historians and academia, demeaning African families and Africa's culture on sexual deviances between father and son. In fact, the Bible and the figure of Jesus have striking similarities to African beliefs, concepts, and spirituality. In the end, the creation theory of Africans is a testament to the deep spiritually and monotheistic beliefs of ancient African civilizations. It is a story that transcends time and continues to inspire those who seek to understand the divine origins of our diverse and rich continent. Africans worldwide are advised to embrace their beautiful spiritual and cultural heritage. Others have profited from for more than 2,500 years. From the mass invasions, from the Assyrians to the ancient Romans to the Arabs, African culture and heritage were taken and destroyed. From Canaan to Kemet to Kush, and from slavery to colonialism. We are still losing our true innate spiritual value because of racism today. Let's embrace who we are. We can never be but who we are. We must shape our world or live in the shapes others make for us. We built the pyramids between 3000 BC to 2000 BC. Now we are in the first century of year 2000 AD, moving toward 3000 AD. We did what no one else could do and became what no one else could be. Our time is here. Let's rebuild the African imperial dominion for God and spread sacred divine spirituality to the world.